Hey guys, Lucas here in Venture Surplus, and today we're doing a kit breakdown. I didn't really intend to have two back-to-back kit breakdowns on the channel, but we're doing this one because it's a pretty cool reason. We're going to talk about the ATAP, and we're going to talk about the ATAP because we just got to load them in. So I wanted to be able to, tell you guys we have ATAPs in. Go over the ATAP again because it's been about a year since we even touched on it, and it's been a year since we touched on it because we haven't had them in stock, and I didn't feel like getting bombarded with questions about where can I buy it, when can I buy it, when are you going to get back in stock, and all that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about the ATAP, what it is, kind of the inherent capability of the base rig, and then we're going to do a kit breakdown because the ATAP being a split H harness type rig, it's a lot different than your normal tap or chest rig. Because while it may be the ATAP, the only thing it shares in common with the tap is the name tap. So let's start this off and do a brief breakdown of what the ATAP is and what it kind of offers you as a rig to start with, and then we'll get into the breakdown of what I got set up here. So let's get into it. All right, so what I got here is an ATAP. So it's an Airborne Tactical Assault Panel. I'm seeing a claim and a reference to these being changed name to Advanced Tactical Assault Panel. One of the links was a dead link, and the other comment or reference was from a guy that, I don't know, he just seemed like he was kind of talking out of his ass. So if it is being changed to the name of Advanced Tactical Assault Panel, please let me know if you have some solid evidence of that one, so we can update our information. But yeah, Airborne Tactical Assault Panel. What this was made to give airborne soldiers a capability to wear their basic fighting load while wearing their main chute and the reserve chute in conventional forces. So it drops down, you can undo these clips and it drops down far enough when you split it open to be able to have your reserve chute sitting there and be able to deploy it if need so. And carry your basic fighting load, because there are 8 columns of Molly by 3 rows high. You can carry plenty of stuff. It's the same amount as a flick would have on its wings. And if I want you to think about this as the modern evolution of what a fighting load carrier, the old flicks, were, and it brings it into the modern day. So the past couple years when these came out, it's a pretty good base rig. It's an H harness split rig type situation with some pretty wide shoulder straps. The Army went with these almost 3-inch wide shoulder straps. So there's plenty of support up here, even though they're unpadded. They're plenty comfortable. It's got a good back end with a floppy section that is Molly compatible. We'll talk about that in a little while. And the front side clips together with the first spear tube. So Big Army is paying first spear prices, but it's a rugged way to connect these two wings up together. Pretty rugged. They do break, but it's not as common as maybe a split bar buckle, something like that. And it's a pretty good way to do it. So that's the ATAP in a nutshell. And like I said, at the start of this little section was it's an H harness split rig type kit. So that leads it to being, it's not your typical chest rig. It's not your typical belt kit. It's nothing like that. So it requires a little different thought process when setting up, and your use case is a little different too. So let's talk a little bit about why you might want this over a chest rig and when this might become applicable for you to think about using over a chest rig or any other type of kit. Harnesses like this H harness split front type rig, these are made for infantry shit. This isn't your Gunner, GWAT, Trap Lord, CQB artist thing. This is made for you're stomping the ground, you're walking, and you have a backpack on, and you're getting prone, getting up a lot, and carrying a lot of gear on you. So if you're looking for something that's good for a CQB, something that's good for running around in houses and really dense urban areas and that kind of stuff, and speed is your your moniker or whatever. This type of rig isn't for that. It's meant to carry everything, have it easily accessible, but carry a lot of it. So anything like this, that's what it's made for. A split rig is nice, especially because you can split it. So if you're getting into prone, you can split this thing out, lay down, and you can get really down onto your belly. If you're wearing armor under this like a slick rig of some sort, now you're just laying on your armor. A magazine's propping up at all, nothing like that. Get it open, get down as low as you can get, and you're good to go. So that's one really nice thing about split rigs, is because you can get in the prone a lot more comfortably. You're not propped up by other pieces of kit. So that's kind of like the inherent things about split rigs or H harnesses. It's meant for carrying a large load with the backpack over a large amount of distance with a lot of gear on you. So that's one thing to consider if you're looking at this. You saw somebody with one, you're like, oh, that's really cool looking. They have it set up really cool. I want to do that. Do you need it? Maybe not, because not everybody needs this where they can just use a chest rig like a tap or another large format chest rig. This has a almost niche role, but I won't say it's too niched where not everybody can use it. Just think about what you're going to be doing with it before you kind of go balls to the walls and fill one of these out and start wearing it as your main line piece of kit. So that about covers, well, that's going to cover what the ATAP is and what the style of kit it is and what that does for you. So let's sum that up or wrap that up and get into this breakdown. So I got this kit set up as a pretty general purpose rifleman type setup, as in it's got everything I need as a rifleman. It's got my magazines, my GP space, my water, my IFAK, and I can throw this on with a backpack and grab my rifle and get going. It's not set up to be used in conjunction or dependent on a belt. So I'll go into a few things as we're talking about this kit as I'm breaking it down. As far as if I had a belt on, I might dislocate this, mount it on the belt, take what I had on the belt, put it here, these kind of things. So I'll be going a few tangents as I break this down. And so a few tangents will go on as far as considerations you really need to think about before you set up a kit like this, because a slick split front chest rig, H harness, split front rig like this, everything has to be doing usually multiple jobs. So your magazine pouches, pretty much the only thing that are really dedicated outside your IFAK and your canteen pouch, but a lot of your pouches need to be doing more than one thing. So we're going to talk about some of those considerations on how you kind of go from there. And I do recommend after you watch this one, go check out Grunt Perspective as well. About a year ago, we had our taps last time. He grabbed one and did a really, really great job on breaking down another ATAP setup that shows some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. He did it that way, and just did a really great job. He's an active duty Marine infantryman, so you can see kind of his thought process as well, as far as what he's carrying and how he's doing things. So let's get this off of Gary, put it on the table, and take a look at how I got this kit set up. All right, so we got the ATAP on the table now. Let's start with this swing and kind of work our way around and then talk about everything I got mounted up here. It's a pretty simple loadout. We're going to talk about, like I said before, some of the considerations you really need to take. So on this swing, which is my right side, I have a bunch of stuff. So going from here, I have a canteen pouch, and I would probably change this out for a standard issue 1-quart pouch because I do like to carry regular 1-quart canteens. And this Eagle V2 is a nice pouch for it, a nice pouch for Nalgene's, but I do like having a little bit of extra space in the pockets on the 1-quart for carrying water purification, fire starting material, other little things. It's nice to have those on you rather than another pouch. So I am going to be changing that out here in the near future. All right, the first consideration we really want to talk about when you're setting up a slick split rig like this is your magazine space and how you're going to put them on your rig in the first place. So I've gone with a shingle. Now let's go on a little tangent about shingle versus 1x3 triple mag pouch. Because you're limited on space now, yeah, you have 16 columns of MOLLE space to mount pouches. That's a lot of space, but it's going to quickly get taken up when you start putting water, magazines, GP, medical, anything else on there, radios. It's quickly going to get filled up because you have two wide pouches, 3 wide pouches. You're taking up 8 columns really, really fast. So you have to decide from the get-go, do I want to do shingles, instead of flat, or do I want to do a 1x3 triple stacker? Now, it's just kind of up to you. What do you have available? What do you want to use? How do you want to deal with that? Having a split rig means even if you're bulked out in the front, you can open it up when you're getting in the prone and you're good to go. You're not really dealing with that bulk. It's just, pick your flavor and go with that. But I went with shingles because it allowed me to have 6 magazines on my ATAP and still stack on top of it. So right now I'm just using standard issue USGI button snap triples. If you like, shot cord top one's better, go with the shot cord top. But either way, you have the ability to mount a pretty trim magazine pouch and then mount on top of it. So one magazine width, in a pouch is not that wide, and I can still mount on top of it. I can still reinsert magazines just fine. If you want to see what having 1x3 triples looks like, Grunt Perspective did those triples. He did a very good job with it. Used a few different pouches to get around that limited space. But if you want to see how that kind of looks, check his out. Your standard double mag pouches, they just take up too much space to get to 6 magazines if you're looking to carry anything but ammo and water. So that's a consideration you need to make from the get-go when you're setting up these kind of rigs. All right, so let's talk about what I got on top of this triple mag pouch. All right, what I got on top of here is some GP stuff at the end of the day. In here, now this is the only pouch. I have 2 of these on here. Out of everything else on this ATAP, there's the only 2 pouches that we have never either carried or have available right now. I just want to make that clear that I did use some personal pouches on here just because I wanted to use them on this. But, oh crap. So yeah, but right here I have a medium general purpose pouch. It is zippered. This is just working with my typical admin general purpose stuff for any mission I want to work out of, or any kind of mission set I have. So I have flashlights, chem lights, notepad in there, all that basic stuff you want on you is just your standard SOP to have on your person. So that's all in this pouch, easy to get to. It's still plenty in my front, not off to the side too hard, so it's easy to get into and don't have to worry about not being able to access stuff I need on mission. From there, I have a tourniquet pouch, just Marine Corps tourniquet pouch, holds one, it's plenty in front, get to it with both hands, plenty easy. And so I have a tourniquet right up in front, easy to access, plenty secure, and it's protected. And from there, I have a flashbang pouch. Right now it's holding a multi-tool. Obviously, if you have a flashbang, put a flashbang in there. You could replace that with like a smoke grenade pouch if you don't want it to. But it's a good small utility pouch. I can hold small items, easy to get to, and it's secure. So that's this wing. Pretty simple. It's got a lot of stuff on there. It's stacked out a little bit, but it's still pretty flush. So let's move from here to the next wing, which is pretty similar. It kept everything pretty symmetrical, especially with weight, but it does a little bit different things. All right, so now I have my left wing. As you can see, it's pretty similar in setup, like I already said, but we'll go through it. So right here, I have medical, so I'm an IFAC right here. Now, let's go on a little tangent about kind of pouches like this on your ATAP and where you can displace them if you're wearing a belt or something else. Because you are limited on space within your on your ATAP, you kind of have to think about, if I'm wearing a belt or have the ability to kind of displace some of that equipment, where can I displace it, where can I put it? For an IFAC, if you're wearing a belt or have the ability to belt mount an IFAC, I would say do that, get it off your ATAP, and free up that space for more GP or water. Because if I put this on a waist pack or on my belt kit or my battle belt setup to wear with this, which you could more than easily wear a battle belt with an ATAP when it's adjusted properly on you, it allows me to carry another 1 quart canteen or just carry some more general purpose stuff, which that means if I'm displaced from my backpack, I still have plenty of water on me because I have two 1 quart canteens, and still have my IFAC on me because it's on my belt. So that's just a little tangent as far as if you're going to displace anything off of your ATAP, I'll start with your IFAC onto that first line piece of kit, which is your belt or that waist pack that's just going to stay on you in general. All right, so let's go on to what's on top of this shingle. All right, so this shingle, similar to the other side where I have 3 mags, nice and flush, and I can stack on top of it. Now here, I have another GP pouch. Again, this is out of everything I have on here, this is the only other pouch that we have not carried or don't currently have in stock. So I just want to make sure that's very clear. But this one is going to act as my nods pouch, or if I don't have my nods on me, I've looked in my backpack or something or another. This is functioning as that kind of pouch. Right now, I have in there some binos and LRF, so that way I have that right on me because being in Colorado on the plains, you definitely want to be able to see and range out pretty far. So that's what this GP pouch is doing, just carrying specialized equipment for me and doing a good job doing that. And from here, I did put a double mag pouch to carry a small radio. Now, radios on an ATAP are another thing you kind of have to think about, and you might have to make some weird choices with pouches and how you're mounting your things up on your wings, because if you're in the military, you're in the Army or the Marine Corps, and you're wearing an ATAP or a rig like this, of similar fashion, an embedder or 152, that's a pretty big, and it's not big, but it's pretty big compared to your civilian radios. So this little Bofang that I've got in here right now, just for doing its thing, it's nothing crazy. It's not doing anything crazy for me, but it's pretty small. Your other typical Bofangs fit in there pretty well. I can run PTTs up from them, but mounting it up there, it's out of the way. If I get in the prone, it's not going to get crushed necessarily, so it's good to go. But radio pouches, you do need to consider how you're mounting it, where you're mounting it, and what you need to give up or displace onto your belt in order to fit on in the first place. So I'll say outside of how do I fit my 6 magazines comfortably, the radio's the next thing. It's like, how do I mount that on there comfortably? Which again, shout out to Grunt Perspective. He did a great job showing how to do that with a different kind of pouch. So let's take a look. We got both wings done. Let's see what I got inside the wings. All right, so much like the FLC, which is the modern day version of an FLC, it has interior pockets inside the wings. Now this is where I've kind of gone from, I don't have a dedicated map pouch or admin pouch to carry all those kind of flat paperwork kind of items. I'm using these interior wings. So that's where I got my map, got my protractor. I can carry some commo cards, some GRGs, quick reference cards, stuff like that. I can put them in the wings, carry them just fine. Now when this is buckled up in the front and I'm wearing it, it is kind of tight. It is going to sit a little tight. I'm not going to be able to reach in there. But Once I unbuckle it, get the wing out, I can get in there just fine, get it out easily, and I'm good to go. Keeping pins in here isn't really an option because they're just going to fall out. So keeping pins in here, in one of my GP pouches, or my pockets, somewhere on my coat, is what I'm going to be doing there to keep my, writing material ready to go and secure. But everything else can fit in there just fine. You can tie it off, secure it just fine. So, that's where I'm keeping my maps and everything like that. Now, so that's both my wings. That's where my main, fighting load is. That's where I'm keeping everything. Now let's look at the back, what I got there, and my thought processes behind this rear pouch that I can't access while I'm wearing my kit. All right, so on the back here, I have a USMC assault pouch. Now, like I kind of said, I can't get to this pouch while I'm wearing my kit, so why do I even have a pouch back there? Well, it's sustainment. It's survival, sustainment, and just larger items I can't fit in these pouches or on my cargo pockets, and I can carry it on my kit just fine still. Now, right now I have more survival-oriented items. I have a meal in there, some 550 cord, some more fire starting material, stuff like that. That's all in here, so that way if I get displaced from my backpack, my assault pack, my rucksack, I still have some of those items on me, and I'm still good to go to do what I need to do. I can also treat this in a couple different ways than that. Well, mainly one other way, and that is keep this empty. That way, if I have to drop my assault pack deliberately, I can take some stuff from there and fill this up with that kind of stuff, like meals, more shelter items, 550 cord, more signal gear, more batteries. All those kind of items can go right in here. I can leave it empty in the meantime, and I have them on me because I'm displaced from my backpack, and I can go do what I need to do, and I can be gone from my backpack for a long amount of time. So that's kind of what I have here for that. Now, the rear piece on the ATAP, it's a pretty floppy mess section. You see here, like I kind of mentioned, these wings are reinforced plastic stiffeners. The backside is not. Now, part of that's because it's a heat sink, so you don't have a lot of heat trapped there. So, that's nice, but also if you don't mount anything that is rigid there, it's just going to be a floppy mess. So that's something you have to consider if you're looking at an oversized pouch to put there. Like I tried putting a Eagle Industries butt pack there. That is a ginormous butt pack. It did not work because it was just too dang big. So, I could rig it up to work, kind of incorporate it into the suspension, everything like that, but at the end of the day, it's just not a solid base for a lot of stuff. So you got to think about, how are you going to use that? Once it's on you and rigged up, it does kind of stiffen up a little bit, but as it is, it's pretty floppy. So just think about that. That's what I got back there. And I will say I unashamedly kind of stole that idea from Grunt because I think it was a great idea. So that's the ATAP. So let's wrap this up and get this video over with. All right, so that's kit breakdown. That is an ATAP setup. You could, just work off of and go and develop your own setup off of this and kind of just work with and figure out what you need and what works best for you. I'll say that, there's definitely a lot of routes you can take with an ATAP. You have a lot of space, but you get, like I've been saying, you really have to consider how that space is going to work out in the long run because nothing in here is built in. There's no built-in mag pockets, there's no kangaroo pockets, there's no inserts to put in there. Once you put it on there, you got to figure out how it's going to work in conjunction with the rest of your gear. So, if you're setting one of these up, just take your time. Don't, smash it together and then run out there and expect it to work the first time around. But ATAPs are awesome. If this kind of kit you want, it works best for your kind of situation, your scenario, your environment. These are really great. It's a great lightweight H-harness. The Eagle H-harnesses from back in the day, the old SFLCS ones, they are great H-harnesses, but they're big and they're bulky, especially, they are padded to high hell, but they're big and bulky as a result. And there's only a handful of other options out there as far as, if I want a split rig, H-harness type rig that's modern and it's lightweight and it's low profile to begin with, there's only a handful out there. There's not a whole lot of them, and they range in price wildly. I'd say if you're really looking for a budget version of this, your two-piece MAV from Tactical Tailor, you can find those on the secondhand market. We've got some in stock right now as of this video, not to try and sell you those necessarily, but it's another option if you aren't sold on the ATAP itself. So that's a split rig kind of setup, particular to the ATAP and some things about the ATAP. So if you like this video, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. If you want to see more kit breakdowns in the future, leave a comment below as far as what kind of kit breakdowns you want to see, whether it be the type of kit, the type of role, scenario, situation, what kind of gear you're wearing on there, stuff like that. More than happy to break that down and do some deep diving into how to set it up. And then, yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, head on to the website, grab one of these, got some other great gear we've got in stock right now. Sign up for emails. So if you missed out on these, you can find out next year when we get more, or all the other great gear in between, and our sales, everything like that coming up, because we've got some great sales coming up next month. So make sure you're signed up and you're ready for those, and so you're the first to know. You can grab some of that great gear for really good discounts. But appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching. See you next time.